Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6 Central Kentucky TV, Community Focus on Washington County. And today I'm delighted to have as our guest Bettye Brookfield, local artist, and Susan Simpson, whom she says is her publicist. So now I would like to, as you can see behind us are these beautiful paintings, and that Bettye Brookfield has created, which are outstanding, and we're going to look at here in a minute. But first, we're going to discuss why we have these here. So, Miss Susan Simpson, you can tell us what is going on.
Okay, well,
would you like to
well,
have
this, I can take it if you want. This is for a special art exhibit in Lexington at the Central Bank. It will be in the John G. Irvin Gallery. It's on the third and second floors, and Bettye was invited to do this show last year by the bank, and we're so happy for her to have this opportunity. She's worked really hard. She has 33 paintings. Many of them are of horses. Some are of flowers of Kentucky and so forth, but beautiful horses that tell the story of the horse here in Kentucky. And the exhibit will be there from November the 3rd to November the 27th. And the opening reception is next Friday, November the 3rd, from 4:30 to 6, and everyone's invited. You can see things on Facebook. The reception will be on the 5th floor, although the gallery with the all of the paintings in hopefully a particular order will be on 3rd and 2nd, and the beginning of it is on 3rd. And then you go through that and then go down to 2nd to follow the story of the horse. The title of this show is Kentucky Horses Now, Then, and Forever. And we are celebrating in Kentucky the 225th anniversary. And so it seemed an appropriate time to go with some wonderful, which they are, wonderful paintings of the horse here in Kentucky. And that's pretty much the way it goes.
Well, now that's at the Central Bank in Lexington, which is downtown on, what is that address, Susan?
300 West Vine Street.
Yeah.
It's right there across from Rupp Arena. Exactly.
Yeah.
Easy to find.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
there's a parking lot in the back, so it's real easy to get there and enter from the back door.
yeah. Well, just how exciting is this that you've been selected to display your artwork there, and at the time of Kentucky's birthday celebration of statehood, 225 years, and so you've got the horse, the story of the horse. So, Bettye, the artist that you are, do you want to tell us about this and how this happened?
Well, I sure do. I am very excited about this. I think it's my strongest show yet, and I've worked real hard all year, but as most artists do, I've done most of the work in the last couple of months. Although I've started most all of them, I really did do the wrap-up and the finish here at the very last. And, life goes on, and you get other things in your life, so the opportunities to paint are not always as much as you wish they were. I wanted to begin by saying, and this is in my artist statement, the reason that I feel so strongly this partnership with the horse, and that is I've raised, trained, ridden, showed, given lessons, and had horses as a part of my life, in a way of life, for always. And just until recently, I have no horses now. But my family came across the Cumberland Gap, as most everybody listening in our area probably did too. Their families came across in the Conestoga wagons and were pulled by the the horse, and then the horses began to be their plow horses and break down the ground to settle Kentucky, and then as they got settled, drive the buggy to church on Sunday. So then as it evolved, horses became more of a sport of kings and became show horses, and of course today race horses. So I'll begin by talking a little bit about Kentucky sycamores, and this is the little girl with two.
Now, I'm going to get out of the way.
Oh,
Betty,
okay.
while you do that, because I
well, you blend so nicely with the colors.
I do match very well, don't I?
Well, you do. We're color coordinated.
But we'll let you describe those, because they are absolutely beautiful.
Well, thank you. This one I worked on for several months because I could not decide what I was going to do with the background until just recently, and I decided to add the sycamores at the very end. And it's the little girl, and most of us have pictures on the farm where we have had our picture taken as a child with the workhorses, of course, in winter. Now this painting is more personal, and it has been in the window of the Opera House. Nell Hayden was so gracious to ask me during Derby to bring something down, and I had just finished. This is called The Race for the Cure, and I'm a breast cancer survivor myself, and what this is representing is it is a race, a horse race. It is a race to cure, but it is also all races. It's all skin colors are represented here with the way the horses are moving together for this purposeful cure, and having a strong, healthy life. I don't know how long it's been, maybe 17 years. So a survivor. So the show can go on. This one is the piece that we selected for the showpiece, and it's sunny. And I'm also teaching part-time at St. A in Lebanon, and I've had this painting in the classroom now for a couple of months, and the children love it. And we've talked about how we can dissect the painting art historically, the different lines, diagonal and vertical lines, the way the colors are running. But you'll notice that the title of the horse on his halter is Sunny, but to me the little girl's name must be Sunny too. She just looks like sunshine with her beautiful reddish blonde hair and green eyes. This one is, I guess, one of the most recent ones. I've just finished it maybe last Sunday. And I was looking for the special brood mare in Kentucky, the foundation mare, and I went back and researched, and this is Alcibiades, and there's now a breeding cup in Lexington at Keeneland that is featuring her name, but she was one of the foundation mares from 1929 to 1959. She lived for 30 years. She was bred to Man o' War at one time, and this is representing her. And I've slept many a night with a broodmare waiting for them to foal, and it's sort of that foggy feeling of the fresh newborn foal in the straw. This is what we think of when we think of Kentucky and horses today, is the race horses, and this one is the Keeneland Fall Meet, and it could be today, or it could have been many years ago. It is those that is part of the history of Kentucky that continues to go on. So I want to really thank Springfield for opening its doors and arms to me so many years as I have been at St. Catherine College, and then after it closed, continuing to live in the Springfield area and be a part of this community. I've always felt like great support from Lisa and downtown here at the Opera House.
Well, Betty, these are just outstanding, and what a story to tell. I mean, gosh, this is just great. So now, will this be the whole, or will there be other? Is there other artwork?
Oh, there's 33 pieces.
33. That's what I thought you said. So gosh, we've got a lot of great work to look at. This is just a sample.
Oh my goodness. The older pieces. I actually have one with the Conestoga wagons, and then the workhorses. There's even a team of mules that I love as well, and then there's even some ponies, the the classic pictures of the little boy with a cowboy suit on a spotted pony. Most every family album has a picture like that in there, and there's others for you to see. And then, as Susan said, in between, these paintings are so large. In between, I have selected to choose small Kentucky florals, pictures of Kentucky flowers, wildflowers, and things like that to sort of break up the space. You'll always see the sunflowers. That's what takes us to France. That's what we love in Kentucky too. So the sunflower colors, as you can imagine, would fit nicely between these colors as well.
Yeah. So, and Betty, now will people be able to purchase these?
Please buy one at least. Yes, the pictures are for sale, and you know, it's artists hardly ever know how that you should price your work because it's your life work. And I say most often question that I get is, how long did it take you to paint this painting? I can't tell you how many times I've been asked that question, and I would say, well, this one took me about 50 years because I had to study art. I had to. I loved art. I wanted to study art, and I achieved my MFA, and I've studied in Europe. I've studied in England. I've studied in Africa. I've really made it my life's quest. So it takes a long time to get to the point where you understand color and how you want it to be represented in the subject matter that you're using. And as you can just see over in a first glance, I'm all about color. And it's the way that I've also had the comment that my styles differ. And that's true. This one is more, would see more impressionistic, more modern, as you may say, whereas some of these others would be more of a classical style. But it's all the same because it's the handling of the paint.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I'm just learning a lot from that, Betty. I just wish not only does it take the study, but it also takes some talent. And so it's something I would never attempt to do. Although I did take one of your paint classes and really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun with it. So even if you're not a true artist, you can still dabble in it because I think it's therapeutic.
Certainly it is, and I really believe that everybody has creativity. It may come out in a different way as cooking or gardening or whatever, but everyone has a gift, a talent, writing. You know, there's many things, and we have this bonding of being a Kentuckian is something that we should all celebrate together, and especially this year when we're celebrating our anniversary.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a very good point, and it's so nice that we're going to have. I found it quite unusual that all these years we've had the Kentucky Derby, that the program and the official Derby poster for the first time was Jim Cantrell from Nelson County. Bardstown, but not, I mean, I know he's originally not from here, but still a Kentuckian. Yes. And so I think it's so important that with our celebration that we are hosting our Kentucky artists, and you certainly are a great example of a Kentucky artist.
Well, thank you. I'd like to bring Susan back in for just a second to talk about that. Jim Cantrell just recently had a show at the gallery in Bardstown, and Susan can give you more information about that because we need to celebrate the arts in our area.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we hosted a great reception for Jim at the gallery there in downtown Bardstown. It's called Bardstown for the Arts, the Gallery, and it's on the square there, 90 Court Square. We did that back in April, just before Derby, and had a signing for him of his two posters, the Derby and the Oaks. But right now, he has his own work displayed in a special exhibit in the gallery, and it's been there almost 4 weeks or so, and I think it will stay up until November the 10th. And so there are all different kinds of paintings that he has done, and different ideas and modes of painting, steampunk, and I don't know even all the details of it, except that we had a great reception and he talked about it, as did his wife Jeanette, he had talked because she knows all about everything and is his manager for him. But it's really great art, and he does watercolors as well as oils. He has some pottery there, some woodcuts, different things, and he has done a great job there. And so you can see that if you have a chance, go to the gallery in Bardstown, and it'll be there.
Well, Susan, you failed to mention that you're an artist too. And so you've had your own exhibit over there, and I don't know if you have anything right now, or if Betty, if you do too.
Has things at the gallery over there, yeah.
Well, I was fortunate enough to have my own special solo exhibit last year about this time. It was in October, which was such an experience for me. But it's hard for me to call myself an artist when I'm in the presence of Bettye Brookfield. But Betty and I have been friends for a long time now, and as she said, I always have some art because I exhibit in the gallery, and we have to work in the gallery in order to keep it open. Artists there volunteer, and that's how we're open 7 days a week over there. It's not that far to go and see it, you know, from here, but a lot of different artists. We have about 30 artists in there of all different sorts. Betty has been in there before. Right now she's not in because she chose to do other things, but we are going to have a special exhibit of her work hopefully this next year. You know, we get our setup of the calendar, and I think she's going to be on it for next year, hopefully. I'd love to see this work over there, but it may be someplace else by then. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. But as Betty said, she and I have we've been friends a long time. We travel to France, and we can just sit and paint for hours, not say a word, you know. And I go to her house, which is almost like going to France, because it's got all these big, beautiful paintings on the walls and everything, and light coming in, and we paint there a lot. And we've traveled, and I try to help her out as much as I can with all of her endeavors. So yeah. It's a joy.
Well, you usually do have something going on. I know you had an exhibit in Louisville. That was 2 or 3 months ago, I think. And I don't know, Susan, you want to say something on that? I can tell. So, okay.
Okay. Well, it's not that particular one, but this is the craziest thing that we ever did. Several years ago, this lawyer from Los Angeles came by, and he fell in love with this huge painting that she had of Elvis Presley, and he wanted us to bring it out, and we did.
He bought it.
He bought it.
The deal was we had to hang it.
Yeah, in
Santa Monica on the beach.
That's right. So,
it was great fun, and we got on the big jet and flew out there. You know, we had to roll the painting up, get there, unroll it, and staple it together and get it on the wall. And he had a beautiful 3-story glass house right on Santa Monica Beach, and on every floor he had the painting was Elvis singing a Jailhouse Rock, and he only saw this painting about 10 minutes. He was in my house and out because he was with some Derby guests that came through, and then he called me when he got back to L.A. and we just thought this is a joke until he sent us the check, and so and then but the little stipulation was you have to bring it out. But he had flowers throughout the house as well, beautiful, right. Huge still life, fresh flowers of roses and calla lilies and anyway, I painted those as well. They were, I don't remember, 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know. But I painted those, and he bought those too. And so we had quite a great connection with him.
Well, what can I say? I know how it is for artists. So, and someone can never pay enough what a painting is worth with all the time and effort that goes into that. However, it is nice when you get the opportunity to sell a piece of work, and because I still to this day think, Betty, about when you had the restaurant here in Springfield called The Starving Artist. Yes. And it was a great restaurant, by the way. I'm sorry we don't have that now, but anyway, you have been a big part of this community, and I just can't tell you how much we appreciate it. So we want to encourage people to come and see this fabulous exhibit that's going to be
A week from Friday. So
and that give me that date again.
November 3rd. What is it?
That's the reception.
That is the reception.
Okay, and it will be up from November the 3rd through November 27th.
Okay.
Yes. So it'll be there for anyone to come and see at any time. Now, the gallery is open. I better tell you that. Actually, the gallery is open from 9 to 4:30, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
That's the gallery hours there at the bank. And as I said, the gallery is located on the 3rd and 2nd floors. And I say it in that order because the exhibit will start on the 3rd floor. And you go through that, and then you go down and go through the 2nd floor to get the story of the horse in Kentucky.
Yeah. So that's at Central Bank in Lexington, and of course, so they have bankers' hours, 9 to 4:30. So then, so anytime from November the 2nd to the November 3rd to the 27th.
And everyone's invited to the reception, which is next Friday from 4:30 to 6.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for having us on.
Well,
This has been wonderful. We appreciate it so much. I am so proud of Bettye.
Thank you.
and we'll thank Channel 6 because that Gary White's always so good in support of the arts, and we're just happy that he's got you wonderful artists to cover. So thanks.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much.